My friends dared me to flirt with the bartender, but my boyfriend's response came unexpected. This is probably going to get downvoted to hell, but whatever. I literally have no one left to talk to. Everyone's cut me off, and I can't sit in this house another night pretending everything's fine. It's not. I fucked up. Not like murder level messed up, but yeah, I made a mistake. A dare turned into a total mess, and now I'm back in my old room surrounded by high school trophies like that matters, so yeah. We were out, me and some friends. It was a bar night, nothing wild, just drinks and music and catching up, and Cassidy dared me to flirt with the bartender. Just flirt. Like haha, get a free drink flirt, nothing serious. I wasn't trying to cheat. I didn't sleep with the guy. We just made out, and before everyone goes off in the comments, I know what it looks like, but it wasn't like that. I met Ethan during my first year at Ridgefield. He was a junior already. Everyone knew who he was, even if they didn't know him personally. The guy just had that thing, that energy. He looked like someone who'd already figured life out, while the rest of us were still failing creative writing. He dressed like a CEO in training, smelled expensive, talked quietly, but when he did, people listened. Girls thought he was hot, but no one said it directly. You just knew. And he had that startup thing going, some app or data thing he was coding with seniors. I didn't get it, but it sounded smart, grown. And then I found out his family had real money. Not showy money, like country club money. Clean. The first time I ended up near him was at this group thing. One of my friends knew one of his friends. We were all out getting food after a mixer. Ethan paid for the whole table. No big speech, no weird alpha move. Just handed the waiter his card and went back to whatever he was saying about market gaps. Everyone just let him, like that was normal for him. And that's when I noticed him properly, like noticed him. I wasn't in love or anything, it wasn't like that, it was just something in me clicked. This guy had a future, like actual long-term future. Stability, power, security. Everything I never had growing up. He had a girlfriend, Sarah. Of course he did. She was fine, pretty in a small town way. Soft voice, soft everything, polite and boring. The kind of girl who cries during old movies and remembers to buy cards for people's birthdays. I knew she wouldn't last. Not because she was horrible, but because she was forgettable. She didn't get him. Not like I did. She wasn't in his world. She didn't belong there long term. I didn't come in all strong. I wasn't stupid. I stayed quiet, patient. I made friends in his circle, showed up at events I knew he'd be at, asked him about his projects, acted curious, told him about classes I was taking, laughed at his jokes, just stayed close enough to be familiar. He started noticing me. I could feel it. The way he looked at me changed, but I never pushed, never crossed a line. I let him feel like he was the one getting closer. I was just there, always there. Then came that one night, end of fall semester, house party off campus. We were all drinking, not crazy drunk, but loose enough. Ethan was sitting with me in the kitchen talking about how things with his girlfriend weren't great. She didn't get his schedule, didn't understand how much pressure he was under. He sounded tired, like genuinely exhausted, and I just listened, leaned in a little, nodded when he talked, told him he was doing amazing, told him not everyone could handle a guy with real ambition, and then I kissed him. I pulled my phone out before I leaned in, hit record, just for a few seconds, enough to catch the moment. He didn't kiss back right away. He pulled back, actually, but not fast enough. The video looked like a kiss, and that's all that mattered. I didn't even wait 2 days before I sent it. Used a fake account, sent it directly to his girlfriend. No name, no message, just the clip. She dumped him that same weekend. I stayed close after that. Told him I was sorry he was hurting, that he deserved better support, better energy. He said I was a good listener, started texting me more, then hanging out. And it wasn't long before we were something. Not official at first, just vibes, then more. I didn't trap him, I didn't lie, I didn't force anything. I just made it easier for the right thing to happen. If anything, I did him a favor. He would have stayed stuck in that dead-end relationship if I hadn't stepped in when I did. Sometimes people just need help seeing what's good for them. That's all I did. I showed him what was already true. After Ethan graduated, he moved to Boston. The job was solid, big company, data stuff, analytics, whatever. They gave him a good package and a corporate apartment and some relocation bonus, and suddenly he was just gone. Like off to start the next chapter while I was still stuck in dorm food and blackout Thursdays. He sat me down before he left and asked what we were going to do. He didn't say break up, but he brought it up like a maybe. I told him no, absolutely not. that I was serious about us, that we could make this work, and he bought it. Of course he did. He said okay and hugged me and told me he loved me, and I cried when he got in the Uber. Not because I was sad. It was just a lot. The first night he was gone, I went to a party, like a real party. Sweaty frat house. Punch that tasted like melted plastic. People grinding in corners. I wore the short skirt I always kept hidden behind my class clothes. It was like slipping back into myself. No pressure, no pretending, just loud music and people who didn't expect anything. I danced, made out with some guy whose name I forgot before the song even ended, went back to his place. I don't know why I did it. Not because I didn't love Ethan. I loved him, not because I wanted to hurt him. It was just fun. I wanted that physical intimacy too. I guess it was like remembering I still could, that I wasn't already locked down. And after that, it kind of became routine, not every night, but often. I'd go out with Cassidy or whoever was around, house parties, bars, after parties. Sometimes nothing would happen. Sometimes I'd wake up somewhere that wasn't my room and just grab an Uber back before class. I told myself it didn't count. We weren't married. We weren't even in the same zip code. I was still in college. It was just freedom before things got serious. Ethan would text me and ask what I was doing, and I'd say studying, or sleeping early, or meal prepping for the week. I became really good at lying fast. He never called during those nights anyway. He was always busy with work, so when I missed a call, I'd just say I fell asleep or had bad Wi-Fi. He never pushed it. He trusted me. It made me feel kind of bad, but also weirdly powerful, like he had no idea. When I talked to him, I made sure to sound soft, sweet. I'd ask about his office, his coworkers, tell him I couldn't wait to be done with college so I could join him, build a future, start our life, all that. And he'd just believe it, every word. He told me he missed me, and I said I missed him too. I'd be saying it while there was someone else asleep in my bed, and I didn't even feel anything. I never thought he'd find out. Why would he? I covered everything, deleted what needed deleting, kept my social media clean, made sure people didn't tag me in anything dumb. It wasn't hard. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just living my life while I still could. No one told me this was wrong when it felt so normal. Everyone I knew was doing the same thing. Ethan was the only one who still acted like college meant building a resume. I was just trying to enjoy it before the real part of life started, before I had to be someone's wife. After I graduated, I moved straight in with Ethan. No pause, no gap. I told him I didn't want to waste money on rent while job hunting, and he said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. He helped me carry boxes up to the apartment, unpacked my stuff, even made space for my crap in his closet. He didn't even complain about how much I brought, just smiled and said it felt real now, like we were starting something. He asked me what my plan was. I remember he was making coffee and asked it all casual, like he didn't want to pressure me. I said I was applying, told him a few local newspapers had listings, that I was sending resumes. Truth is, I hadn't done anything, not one application. I didn't even know what jobs were out there. My degree felt like a joke now. No experience, no samples, nothing to show. And part of me thought maybe I didn't need to. Like maybe Ethan would cover us until I figured things out. But he kept asking. Not annoyingly, just hopeful. So I told him I got hired. Small publication, part-time, print only. Said they didn't have a digital archive, which made it harder to check. Told him the editor was old school, conservative, didn't believe in online stuff. And Ethan just nodded, said he was proud, that he knew I'd find something soon. I lied and smiled and said thank you. I started waking up early to keep the act going. Put on work clothes, packed a bag, did my makeup, left the apartment like I was commuting. Ethan gave me his car without blinking. Said it didn't make sense for me to take the train if he already was, that he didn't mind. And I didn't say no. The car was nicer than anything I'd ever driven. Heated seats, backup camera, perfect for sitting in parking lots pretending I had somewhere to be. I'd grab coffee, scroll my phone, sometimes drive to the river and just stare at the water, go to stores, try on clothes, walk around Target for no reason, sometimes meet a friend if she was around. She knew I was lying, but she never said anything. Just joked that I was living the dream. I told her it wasn't permanent, that I'd figure something out soon. I never did. I told Ethan I had deadlines, staff meetings. Even invented some annoying coworker named Frank who chewed too loud and made sexist jokes. I printed out fake drafts, changed the headlines, crumpled the pages and shoved them in my tote bag just in case he ever looked. He never did. Not once. He just trusted me. Came home tired and asked how my day was, and I'd complain about a story I made up on the spot. He'd say that sounded rough and rub my shoulder, and I'd nod like, yeah, babe, it really was. He never pushed, never doubted me. Said he was glad we were building something together. And I'd just smile and say, me too, like I wasn't lying every single day. I thought maybe one day I'd tell him the truth, after I actually got a job, after I had something real to show. But that day never came, and honestly, I didn't feel that guilty. Not then. It felt like survival. It felt like faking it until it wasn't fake anymore. Cassidy texted me out of nowhere. We hadn't talked in months, but she said she was in town for a few weeks and wanted to catch up. She was always the fun one in college. Wild. Always down for shots or skipping class to go lie on the quad in swimsuits just because it was sunny. We weren't best friends or anything deep, but we'd been through some nights together. So when she messaged, I said, yeah, let's do brunch. Sounded harmless. We met at this place she picked. Trendy, bottomless mimosas, loud enough that you had to lean in to hear each other. She showed up looking all cute in California now. Big sunglasses, loose waves, tan, and she brought her boyfriend. I wasn't expecting that. His name was Derek. He looked exactly like the type. Gym arms, calm eyes, expensive hoodie. He said hey and shook my hand and pulled out the chair for her. I clocked him immediately. I wasn't trying to be messy. It wasn't like that. I was just being friendly. Flirty, maybe. Light. Nothing obvious. Cassidy got up halfway through to take a call, and it was just me and him at the table. I made some dumb joke about his shirt looking too clean to be real. Touched his arm for half a second when I laughed. He smiled but didn't really say anything flirty back. Just nodded. Polite. Later that night, I found his Instagram through her tags, scrolled a bit. He had that look in every photo, like confident but chill. The kind of guy who doesn't need to try too hard. I messaged him, just a simple hey. Said something like, I hope I didn't third wheel too hard today. Then another message about how he looked good in that blue shirt, just playful, casual. He saw it, didn't reply. Then I sent one more the next morning, more direct. Something like, don't tell Cass, but you're kind of distracting. Still no reply, just left me on scene. I kept checking like maybe he didn't know what to say. Maybe he was thinking it through. He didn't delete it or block me, just left it there like a quiet no. But I didn't take it as a no. Not really. For a second I panicked, like what if he told her? What if Cassidy knew? I kept refreshing her stories, checking to see if she posted anything weird. But then she put up this reel from brunch. Slow motion stuff. Us laughing, clinking glasses. One of those soft filter edits. And she tagged me with the caption sisters from another mister and some heart emojis. I actually laughed. That's when I knew I was good. Derek hadn't said anything. He probably felt awkward, maybe guilty, but he hadn't told her. If anything, I figured it made me more interesting. Like he knew, he saw, and he still kept the secret. And deep down, I was sure he'd fold. Maybe not that week, maybe not even while Cass was in town. But eventually, come on. He looked. He saw. He'll fold. They always do. A few days after brunch, Cassidy texted me again, said she was heading out with some of our Ridgefield crew and that I should come. Old friends, old playlist. Just dumb fun. I said yes before even thinking. Ethan had some networking thing that night anyway. Some fancy dinner with his team. I figured he'd be gone late. We weren't even going to be in the same zip code. I told him Cassidy wasn't feeling well, made my voice low and serious like it was something emotional. He didn't question it, just told me to take the car. Said it would be safer. Gave me the keys like I was his wife running errands. It made it easier. I left wearing leggings and a hoodie, packed the mini skirt and heels in my tote, changed in Cassidy's bathroom once I got there. Full transformation, lashes, lip gloss, the whole thing. We pre-drank a bit, then headed to the club, in Ethan's car. I drove, parked a few streets away from the club where there were no meters. Cassidy kept laughing at how I said I knew the city like a pro. We walked the rest. The second I got inside, I knew it was going to be one of those nights. Dark, loud, packed. Drinks that barely tasted like alcohol but burned after anyway. My skirt kept riding up and I didn't care. I danced like no one was watching but hoped everyone was. Cassidy was already gone in the music. Then someone brought up truth or dare, and everything tilted. Cassidy dared me to flirt with the bartender. Just get a drink without paying. Harmless. Like old times. She told everyone how I used to score in college and never had to pay while she got broke because of that. That made me laugh. I told her it was because her throat game wasn't as good as mine. And then I walked up and leaned into the bartender, complimented his tattoo, said I liked his playlist. He smirked and said I looked like the kind of girl who'd get what she wanted. Poured me something strong, free. I should have left it there. Gone back to the group. But I stayed. Came back again for water. Then again for a napkin I didn't need. We talked. Nothing deep. Surface level flirting. His eyes kept dropping. He asked if I was single. I didn't answer. He said he was off in a bit. Asked if I wanted to go somewhere else. I told him yeah. Said follow me. We walked out and I led him straight back to the car. Ethan's car. He didn't even ask who it belonged to. Just opened the door and slid in like it was his. We made out in the back seat. Hands everywhere. Fast. Messy. The kind that makes you forget where you are. I don't know what came over me. Maybe I didn't care. Maybe I thought I'd get away with it. I looked around and saw we were parked under this busted streetlight. Felt like a movie. Not a good one. Just something that wasn't my real life. I didn't want to go home. Didn't want to go back to pretending. I looked up motels nearby. Found one with a cheap rate. Booked it in seconds. Told him to follow me there. Didn't even think about using a fake name. Didn't bother fixing my makeup. I just wanted one more hour of not thinking about anything. I didn't even hear the door open. It wasn't like in movies where there's footsteps and tension and someone gasps. It was just boom. Loud. Violent. Like the door was kicked in. The bartender jumped back, almost fell over. I sat up, heart racing so fast it felt like I couldn't breathe. Sheet pulled over me like a kid caught stealing. And there he was. Ethan. In the doorway. He didn't yell. Didn't ask a single question. Just looked at me. Then at the guy. And then he walked straight over and punched him in the face. No warning. Just this brutal, clean hit that knocked the bartender off balance. I don't think the guy even understood what was happening. Ethan shoved him again and he just ran. Grabbed his shirt off the floor and ran. Didn't say anything to me. Didn't look back. Gone. And then it was just Ethan, still standing there, breathing hard, fists clenched. He looked at me for 1 second and said, "Get dressed. Come downstairs." That's it. Just that. No tone, no rage, just cold. I didn't move at first, didn't even speak. He didn't wait. He turned around and walked out. I got up. I didn't think. I didn't cry. I just moved. Pulled my skirt back on. It was wrinkled and inside out. Didn't fix it. My top was twisted. My makeup was everywhere. Glitter on my thighs. I looked like everything I wasn't supposed to be. Grabbed my heels, my phone, followed him down the hall, down the stairs. My legs were shaking. Everything felt slow and too loud. And then I stepped outside and saw them. Cassidy, Derek, Jess, a couple others from Ridgefield, all of them standing there like they'd been waiting for a show. And behind them, kind of off to the side, hoodie up, hands in his pockets, Zach. Actual Zach. Not some look-alike, not a maybe. It was him. I felt my stomach drop so hard I thought I might throw up. I didn't even know what to do with my face. I wanted to run, but I didn't move. Just stood there, freezing, holding my shoes, looking like every bad decision I ever made. Ethan was standing near the lot entrance, hands in his jacket, watching me, like he'd been watching me for weeks, months, maybe longer. He didn't walk over, didn't say my name, just looked at me and said, "Since you love attention so much, I figured I'd give you a crowd." No one said anything, not a word, not even Cassidy. She just stood there, still, like she wasn't even real. Derek was looking at the ground. Zach was staring at the sky. I didn't know where to put my eyes. I kept thinking, this isn't happening. This can't be real. How did he know? How did they all know? How did they get here? I didn't say anything at first. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just kept standing there, hoping maybe someone would break the silence and change the subject or something. Like maybe if I looked sorry enough, he'd take pity. Like maybe this could still be salvaged. Maybe no one knew how deep it went. Maybe I could still lie my way out. So I said it, just softly, to Ethan. I said, "You don't know the whole story." And he laughed. Not loud, not funny, just this sharp little sound that felt colder than anything else. And he said, "Yeah, I do." And then he started listing it all. He said he knew I never had a job, said he figured it out weeks in, that the place I claimed to work at shut down the year before, that he called once just to check and no one even answered, said he waited to see if I'd come clean, and I didn't. I never did, Dot. He said he put GPS on the car, the one I used every day, said he watched me go everywhere but work, tracked my location while I was out at cafes, spas, the mall. He said he kept screenshots, dates, timestamps, every place I ever lied about, and read every text, every message, said he saw the stuff I sent Derek, the pictures, the emojis, the way I tried to get his attention, and how Derek ignored me, said he watched me dig my own grave and just waited. My mouth was dry. I looked around like maybe someone would jump in, maybe Cassidy would say something, maybe Zach would tell Ethan to calm down. No one did. Then Ethan looked at Zach, and Zach stepped forward a little. Didn't even look at me, just said, "Yeah, I didn't know. Back then, when we hooked up. I didn't know you had a boyfriend. Didn't even know Ethan existed. All I saw was you making out with 2 other guys the week before, and then you came to me. I figured you were single. It wasn't deep, but I wouldn't have done it if I'd known. I'm sorry, man." Ethan nodded and continued. I met Sarah too, and my stomach turned. Actually turned, like bile rising up into my mouth. He said she told him someone from our dorm saw me that night, recording the kiss, bragging after, that it was all planned, all fake, all of it a lie. He said he almost broke up with me then. And I said no, I said that wasn't true, that I didn't plan anything, that I didn't ruin anything. And that's when Cassidy stepped in. She cut across me before I could even finish. Loud, not yelling but close, said, don't do that. You told me. Word for word. You said if you got him drunk enough, you'd make a move. You laughed about it. Don't stand here now and act like you were innocent. And then she slapped me. Hard. Full hand. I barely moved, but my face lit up from the sting. I tasted blood in the corner of my mouth, and she said, I saw the messages. You're disgusting. I didn't try to hit her back. Didn't yell. I just looked at Ethan like maybe he'd stop it. But he didn't even flinch. He just stood there, watching, waiting for me to crumble. And then he said, I knew you weren't with me for me. I always knew. You wanted the safety, the apartment, the future. And that was fine. I could live with that. I just thought you were loyal. Turns out even that was fake too, and he turned around and walked back to the car, opened the door, got in, didn't even look back at me. But he just left, like he was done with me, like this part of the show was over, and now I had to clean up the mess. And I was still standing in the parking lot, in that stupid skirt, makeup melted, my mouth open, not one word left to say. Everyone else started leaving, quiet, heads shaking. No one looked at me. No one said goodbye. They just got into their cars and drove off like they couldn't wait to forget I ever existed. After everyone left, I just stood there for a long time. I don't know how long. It felt like time stopped. I kept thinking maybe Ethan would come back and talk to me. Maybe someone would say something. They didn't. They were all gone. And then the motel guy showed up. He looked at the door, asked me what the hell happened, said it was damaged, said the lock was busted. I didn't even know what to say. I just kept shaking my head like maybe that would help. He told me the room was under my name, said he'd have to call the cops if I didn't settle it, said they don't cover that kind of thing. I begged. Told him I didn't have much. He didn't care. Just shrugged and said then you shouldn't have booked it. I opened my bank app and sent what was left. Every last dollar. The card Ethan used to top up sometimes blocked, just like my messages. Everything bounced. I stood outside with my phone at 2% and called the only number left that would even maybe pick up. My dad. He didn't answer at first. I called again and again. When he finally did, I didn't even tell him what happened, just said I needed a ride. He showed up 40 minutes later, didn't say anything, not even when he saw me. He looked at me for maybe 2 seconds and then just opened the passenger door. I sat in the car and we drove. Didn't talk, didn't even play music. The quiet made my skin itch. Now I'm back home, in my old room, high school trophies, posters on the wall I forgot to take down. I'm applying for jobs. Actually applying this time. Emailing people, fixing my resume. Nothing's working. No one wants to hire someone with a journalism degree, a 2.2 GPA, and a 3-year gap that I can't explain. I'm walking dogs for cash, babysitting when my neighbor needs someone last minute. I didn't cheat, not really. I just spiraled. I lost control. I messed up, I know that. But is there any way I can fix this? Anything at all? Update. I don't know why I'm posting again when not even one of you helped me out and only laughed at my misery. Don't forget, everyone has a bad day and people will laugh at your bad days as well. It's been a month. I don't know what I thought would happen, but definitely not this. I thought maybe I'd get a text or a call, maybe a message saying we should talk, something, anything. But I haven't heard a word. Ethan's dating his ex again, the one from before me. I saw a picture. Someone posted it and forgot to crop him out. They were at a wedding or something. She looked happy. He looked calm. Like someone who got out just in time. Cassidy blocked me. Completely. Texts, socials, everything. I didn't even try to explain. I knew she wouldn't believe me, not after everything. I'm not even mad about it. I just didn't think she'd go cold that fast. Guess I overestimated how much I ever mattered to her. Still no job. Not even an interview. People ask what I've been doing and I just lie. Say I took time off to help family. No one buys it. I keep applying. Keep tweaking the resume. Still nothing. Journalism doesn't want me. Nothing does. I'm still walking dogs, doing random errands for neighbors, laundry, dishes, whatever keeps me out of the house long enough to feel like I'm doing something. My mom doesn't say much, but I can tell she wants me gone. My dad barely looks at me. Sometimes I check Ethan's profile. Not often. Just to see. He hasn't blocked me. I don't know if that's worse. Anyways, that's all from my side. Thank you for listening, I guess.